Good morning, welcome to day 5. Today is the Abbey flower, and I'm going to be using Plied Yarn and Soie Perlee, which I'm going to use with a size 6 seed bead and a bugle bead. So we will be doing attached woven picots, as well as pistil stitches, detached chains, and learn how to do a very fun flower center using bugle beads and seed beads. Today I'm going to be working with plied thread and Soie Perlee beading thread. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. This plied is one of my new favorites. I love it because it's 100% wool. It is 2 ply, so it's 2 different colors that are applied together, and it is totally 100% made in the US, which is even nicer. So it's dyed and spun here in the US. I worked with it for a long time, at length, should I say, and what I've been so impressed with is that it has never shredded. I've done lots of trellis stitches and different stitches with it, and I'm going to use this for the little Abbey flowers. It has a nice sort of heathered look to it once you stitch with it, and it obviously fits in beautifully being stitched on the wool. So it comes in nice colors, great color combinations as well. I also use the Soie Perlee, which is the silk thread here, and I use that as my beading thread. I've always used a heavier weight because I always consider the beading to be part of the embellishment, and I need a thread that holds the depth of wool, and it comes in great colors. On my piece I just used a turquoise, but you can imagine if I'd used an orange, you would have a little bit of orange on the top of all of these little beads as well. It is a 24 weight silk. It's very strong and has a lovely high sheen, made in France. So I use a number 9 short darner to stitch with that, and I can get that into 11 seed beads, even though I'm working with a slightly larger, more like a 6 seed bead here. So if you have trouble threading it in a 9, you could probably use a slightly bigger needle because we're using bigger beads right here. Okay, so we're going to make this little Abbey flower. A little story behind this flower was I love it when I have young students in my class, and I had a young girl who was, I think, 12 at the time, and I gave them a challenge to come up with a flower with the Spoke Easy tool, and this is what she came up with. So it's become a very popular little flower that we do, and thus named Abbey after her. I'm going to use the 10 spoke again, so I'm going to mark this a little differently. We're going to mark all of them at 1.5 like this. Don't forget the center. And then I am going to turn this again so it's halfway between the others like this, and this time I'm only going to mark every alternate one. So for instance, I'm going to mark this one, and then I'm going to miss one, mark the next one, miss one, mark the next one, miss one, mark the next one, miss one, and mark the next one. Okay, so once I have marked it, I'm going to show you how to do your spokes for this one. So you're going to come up in the center, and you're going to connect sets of 3 spokes. Each petal will be 3 spokes like that. So you can see like that. So you'll do 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. And so I'm going to show you, and then we're going to weave these. So when I weave each petal, I will come up just on the inside of the top of the petal like that. And I'm going to come back under this thread, and I'm using a tapestry needle here. So I'm using the 20 tapestry. I'm going to go over and just watch your tension. And then I'm going opposite here, over, under. Just watch your tension that you don't pull these too tight. And you're going to keep weaving all the way down until you have filled the petal. And I like mine to be filled pretty tight, so as I'm weaving I use my needle to pull everything up so that it stays nice and snug. Okay, so once you've woven it, you can see that I've woven all 5 of these petals. You can do a little pistil stitch, and this is a little detached chain around it. So what I like about that is that it's a way to add some color or a little spark. So I use the silken ivory for the pistil and a size 5 pearl cotton eleganza for the detached chain. I then did some beading in the center. So you can do, I mean, you could leave your center if you want, or you could come back and do some French knots. But here I thought I'd show you a nice little way to bead with bugle beads and a seed bead. So I have my soy pearl. I'm going to come up in the center of my flower. And I'm going to pick up a bugle bead. So a bugle bead is like a little tube. Oops. And I'm going to pick up a larger bead. So the bead you pick up just has to be larger than the whole of the bugle bead. And then I'm going to pull this down, and then I'm going to go back through the tube, the bugle bead, not through the seed bead. And then when I pull this through, then the bead will be on the end, and that'll hold the bugle bead in place like that. So I just will come up and do as many as I want in the center. And the silk thread is nice and strong, so you don't have to worry about it breaking. And like I said, you could use a slightly different color if you wanted to have another little bit of color in the center. And then I'm going back through the bugle bead and back down. So I'll just do a cluster right in the center. And they stand up, which is sort of fun, and they're nice and firm in the center of the flower. So have fun. I look forward to looking on SAL with Sue, hashtag SAL with Sue, to see what you are doing with your flowers.